Just who is Hyeon Chung? The South Korean, 21-year-old South Korean who out-Djokovic'd Djokovic. Just who is this guy? Well, the people who watch tennis very closely do know who he is. And there's a little bit of a history here, and I wanted to kind of break that down for you today. My name is Aaron Knapp. We are into, let's see, I guess it's day 9 of the Australian Open. We've got a match that's about to start with Dimitrov versus Edmund. And it looks like, Dimitri, it's a 2-0 record on the head-to-head. But that's looking like it's going to be a fantastic match. I'm Aaron Knapp. This is Tennis Talk Daily. And subscribe to the channel for the best tennis commentary on YouTube. It's not the flashiest, but it is the best. So who is Hyeon Chung? He is a 21-year-old South Korean. He turned pro in 2014, and his most recent accomplishment, notable accomplishment, is the winner in the Next Gen Finals, the Next Gen ATP Finals, where he prevailed over Andrei Rublev in the final, and that who was another rising star. But in any case, he has had a very good year behind him, and it's clearly his standout year. It's clearly his breakout year. I'm talking about 2017, including wins over Alexander Zverev, wins over Sam Querrey, wins over Misha Zverev, wins over David Goffin. He is clearly starting to make a mark, and in his match against Djokovic, that is about the way to say it. He did sort of out-Djokovic, but I kind of like Chung. I like his really high serve toss. It's very effective, and he does a lot of judging of where his opponents think he's going on his serve, and he's quite good with that. But I wish him well, and I think he's going to do well. I mean, the big question is, whether he's going to get into the semifinal with Federer, and I think the answer is he probably will get past Sandgren, who's another guy that we don't really know a lot about. But Chung is a rising star. We'll see how deep he actually goes. He has the ability to stage some upsets. He already has. But we're just going to have to see. I think Roger Federer, they've never met on the court, but I don't think Roger Federer is going to have a terribly difficult time with Chung, and it looks like they're going to meet, in fact, in the semifinals. So, that raises the question of Roger Federer. Matt over Coffee Break Tennis was talking about how there's a lot of Fed doubters out there. They question his game. They're really hard on him. And I wanted to respond as follows. I think Roger needs our confidence and not our doubt. The more doubt there is in the world about Roger Federer, the less likely it is he'll win the Australian Open this year. I really do believe that. And the more confidence there is for him in the world, then, I think the more likely it is he will, in fact, lift that 20th Grand Slam trophy. And he is going to do it, because here's the thing. He's got the confidence. So what I say to you Federer fans is, have as much confidence in Roger as he has in himself. Give him that extra boost in a way. It's an important piece of this as a fan. And understand also that the game of tennis is a hard game. It's played sort of point by point. It's almost 1 point at a time. There are a lot of errors that happen in the game. The games often do, the matches come down to single points, but most of the points in matches are not those kind of points. Most of the points in matches don't really matter in terms of the match. The best way to look at a tennis match is, as you're playing it, is basically each point is the beginning of a new match. That's the way it should be. All points that came before, except of course for the sort of lessons learned, but that's just intuitive for these players. Each point has got to be a new match. So the more you're thinking about, like what he did on his backhand a few points ago, no, Federer is playing 1 point at a time. He is an expert. He's an expert at working his way through these large tournaments and getting to the trophy. He knows how to do this. So we've got to have confidence in him. But listen, here's the key stat from that match with Vucevic. Federer did not let slip one break point on his serve. He ruthlessly protected his serve over and again and allowed nothing to Vucevic in that regard. Contrast that to the Rafa match with Diego Schwartzman, where Rafa let slip 18 break points on his serve. Now, he protected his serve, and I noted a few videos back that that's important to do. It's a noteworthy thing about Rafa, that he fought back, and it shows that he's got a lot of fire this year. Well, that's great, but at the same time, those are exposures that someone like Roger Federer is going to exploit. But the point is that Federer is ruthlessly protecting his serve this year. He has come this far without dropping a set, and he deserves our confidence. He really does. So to the doubters out there, it really is not doing Roger a service at all. Have confidence. I don't know, just be exuberant and confident about Roger's abilities, because he is the greatest tennis player, and he does know what he's doing, and he's holding things back. That's what folks don't understand. Matt suggested a little bit of that, and I agree with some of it. There's more to the story, but he's holding things back. If he doesn't need to go 100, it's like with Gasquet. If you don't need to go 100% on the neo backhand to win the point, then don't do it at that point in the tournament. That's the idea that Federer and his team are probably kind of the strategy that they're developing. But as the matches proceed and as he gets deeper into the tournament, he'll turn up the volume and he'll save the 100%. But here's the reality: the way he's moving around on the court guarantees, to my mind, that he will be operating at 100%. Because if Federer is operating at 100%, he's unbeatable, so we have nothing to worry about. Well, that's where the point about just his movement, his body, everything looks good. Everything is set. The stars have aligned for Roger Federer to lift his 20th title, and so that of course is the prediction. That's what I'm hoping will happen, and that's what is going to happen as a matter of fact. Who is in that final with Federer is another question, and it's an interesting question, and I think it very well could be Nadal. It's probably going to be Nadal, but I do believe that it's possible that Dimitrov could prevail ultimately in that semifinal with Nadal, which again will be a throwing away, very much related in the two players' minds, because they played last year at the same place in the tournament, the semifinal. So those are my 2 cents. Have confidence in Roger and not doubt, because the doubt doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anybody any good. You can be critical, but know that the game of tennis it's not what it looks like on those highlights. It's not. For those of you who play tennis, you know this, but for those of you who've seen live tennis, you know this too. Now, it is a fast-paced, exciting game, don't get me wrong, but it's not like the highlights. That's not how tennis matches are won. Highlights are not how tennis matches are won, and that's the truth. Roger Federer knows how tennis matches are how they're won, and it's not always it's not warts and all, it's not always a pretty sight, the way they're won. It doesn't have to, Rafael Nadal is actually famous at winning matches in not a very pretty way. Well, it's not a pretty process. It's kind of an ugly process in a way, but it is a very, I love it. I think it's just it's the greatest sport that was ever invented, and these men are the greatest athletes that have ever been. Subscribe to the channel, definitely, and give it a thumbs up, and we're going to be talking soon as we come into these matches, which are just about to start. So peace be with you. Bye-bye.